All right, you guys. Well, first, let me start off by saying peace and blessings to everybody. We're the boys, we're the boys. So this content that I'm about to get into is from Miss Crenshaw herself, Crenshaw Incorporated on YouTube. Kind of a deep subject that we finna talk about. It's kind of a touchy, sensitive subject, but it is reality. Stuff that's finna be discussed in this video do exist. I kind of felt like this from the beginning of the case, going back to the date that the boys was missing on December 21st, the day when Saturn and Jupiter aligned in Pluto in the back, which was called the Great Conjunction. All right. So one thing with occults, good and evil. They do certain practices and certain things on certain dates and events that take place in the sky. So these type of entities, these type of groups, these type of forces do exist. Let me tell you guys this, like I said before, our government does participate in these practices, you guys. From our presidents that we see to the popes and people above on higher level. Them type of personnel that is put in the public, they're just puppets. It's puppet masters above them, which goes to the people that run this whole entire earth. And it is people that run this earth. Secret societies, they all connected together. And let me tell you this, they are not godly people. They do practice in demonic stuff. They do worship the devil, and they're not people like us. You know what I mean? So keep that in mind, that this type of stuff do exist. It's kind of hard to get into because you lose a lot of people like that. And the way the government is set up, they run everything, the news channels. So, you know, all they got to do is go on the news, go on TV, which they run all these major stations. That's why they all have the eyes and pyramids and, you know, all them symbols that they put right in front of our face, you guys. All they got to do is say it's a conspiracy. They created conspiracy to throw people off. So when topics like this get discussed, it's hard for people to manifest it in their head because you have to dig yourself and research yourself to get this type of information and figure out these type of things. Then also believe it and put it together and understand that they do exist, that it is real, that we are being lied to. Everything is a facade. It's just hard to put it together. I read about stuff like this in books, and I really don't speak up on stuff because I want to make sure I'm right. And I got enough knowledge and wisdom. I read enough to know this stuff do exist and seen some things happen and paid attention at the same time. You know, trying to put that on the boys' case is like trying to put it together is hard to fabricate because you wouldn't think that you would be involved in something like this firsthand or see it firsthand. So just the fact that this could be going on with the boys is crazy. So basically, you know, just to get into what we got going on, Miss Crenshaw herself has been doing her digging and her research. And I back her. I got her back on this. I feel this could be very possible, especially 10 months later and nobody is doing nothing. It would make sense. If it is that deep, you know, this stuff been going on for years. You don't see too many cases being solved when it comes to dealing with them type of people and dealing with this type of activity that's, you know, it's always covered up. It always just gets swept under the rug because it's higher levels, it's bigger dogs, it's bigger players that control these police departments that would tell, you know, even the feds. Yeah, think about it. The feds is connected to the government. The government runs everything. The government is controlled by these people that is of the devil, that really don't care. You know, they play godly to fool people. But, you know, as time goes, they trying to make the world as evil as possible and corrupt everything and just a whole mess. As, you know, if you believe in God, tells you what the devil is going to do, especially to God's people. It's one thing that we all got it, from religion to being spiritual to being educational on our history and really know what's going on, to understand these type of things. But I'm going to jump straight into the video. This is part 1 to what Miss Crenshaw has been doing. I know she just dropped part 2 tonight, but I got to start off with part 1. Well, like I said, I think she is on to something, and for sure is definitely something to pay attention to. Really pay attention and go do your own research and try to understand what she's saying, because I read about stuff like this in books. I just didn't get into full details because I was lost and I was young at the time. I'm like, they talking about aliens, reptilians, that's what these presidents and stuff believe in. They believe that they're reptilians, and they're here for a whole different reason. Accomplish their goal, which is a new world order and all types of demonic stuff, to eliminate God's people to where they have full control. They don't have full control right now because God is real. You would think so, oh, they run the world, they could do this and do this, but no, God is still there. God is still here, and God is not going to let that happen. So they continue to fight their battle to try to overwin and overpower God. But at the end of the day, they got all type of societies that do demonic stuff. They do practice on kids. They promote all the gay stuff. They do all types of stuff that God doesn't ask you to do. So I don't know. It's crazy, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it's really crazy. Just have patience though. But I believe I got Crenshaw's back, and I think she's on to something, man. And it all makes sense with the time frame, just with everything, them taking so long because they don't know how to deal with it, because they're dealing with, it's nothing they can really do. If that is the case, let's just go ahead and jump into this video, y'all.
YouTube family, forgive me for taking a minute to get this video together, and it's going to be in a couple parts because I really want to do it justice. I'm just going through a lot. I don't even have my laptop with me. It's currently in storage, so this is going to be a video off of my phone, like way back in the day when I first started making videos, and that's okay too. But I just want to share this information because it's really disturbing. And let me start off with a disclaimer, because unlike a lot of my videos, I'm about to be discussing a theory, and it's a topic I usually avoid.
Yeah.
But as I've said, I feel compelled to talk about this. I've noticed way too many coincidences surrounding these paranormal
And I feel the same way, you guys.
And every time I take a deep dive into the darkest cases involving children, I see the same things coming up lately. So I'm going to be bringing up a few philosophies and practices. This is probably going to be a three-part, series. And I want people to understand that I'm fully aware that not everyone who believes in some of the philosophies I'm going to mention are evil people. So please, I don't need 100 comments saying that Gaia worship and ascension are evil. And even if you are one of the people who practice Wicca, and you're into alien ascension and you worship the moon, I just hope that you maintain a strong and sound mind, because we can't ignore the fact that some of the most evil cases, particularly involving children, appear to have at least one person who follows these beliefs.
Facts.
So this is a rabbit hole like you wouldn't believe. And I'm just going to start with a case that is near and dear to my heart, because as of right now, we have two missing boys still. And I'm going to talk about Trezliar West. Unfortunately, Trezliar and Jacqueline, they really tried to scrub the internet of social media, of their social media presence. And by the time they reported Sincere and Classic or an Orson missing, they had, basically disappeared from any online searches that you could do. But through my...
So I just want to speak up on that real quick. That's suspect as hell. Prior to these kids coming up missing, you guys were going back, deleting all your social media accounts. So it just leads back to something been happened to the boys, or it's part of a plan. You guys did this to cover up something so people can't go back and see what you're about, because in reality you still believe in this, but you can still go to jail, or however it works out. It's very confusing,
the metadata and the help from things like the Wayback Machine. Oh, I want to say a thank you to Angelina for helping me in times when I didn't have my laptop to use the Wayback Machine to research what he was really doing online and on Twitter. So I've been able to obtain certain posts, and I've been studying them for a while. The reason why I have this one up on the screen, this picture is because this is where I left off of that short video I just posted the other day. And I had only went over the first sentence, and he wrote two. So we're going to focus on, now, I'm also probably going to be butchering a lot of these names, so bear with me. Things like the Wayback Machine. Oh, I want to say a thank you to Angelina for helping me in times when I didn't have my laptop to use the Wayback Machine to research what he was really doing online and on Twitter. So I've been able to obtain certain posts, and I've been studying them for a while. The reason why I have this one up on the screen, this picture is because this is where I left off of that short video I just posted the other day. And I had only went over the first sentence, and he wrote two. So we're going to focus on, now, I'm also probably going to be butchering a lot of these names, so bear with me. This is not my field of expertise, these types of weird alien ascension type beliefs that he's into. So
This is what these people practice. Like, go look it up. Go read Behold a Pale Horse. And now I feel more comfortable to cover them subjects because now it's getting brung up amongst this case. I got information that can add up to this that will make sense. But go check out Behold a Pale Horse. They talk about reptilians. They talk about all this stuff that, what's going on.
Mispronouncing these names. But it says Enki and Enlil are the sons of Anu. So I looked up what what's Anu? Who's Anu? Like what is this about? And again, this is why this is also concerning. It says Anu, which is a Sumerian, and is a Mesopotamian sky god and a member of the triad of deities completed by Enlil and Enki. That's basically, now we know we're talking about the right things. That's literally what Trezliar wrote in that post. And it says, like most sky gods, Anu, although theoretically the highest sky god, played only a small role in the mythology hymns and cults of Mesopotamia. He was a father not only of...
Y'all know what a cult is, right? This is a simple definition of a cult is basically a leader or a person, an individual with a following. So a church can be a cult. But most people that use the term cult is demonic. They just like to, make it seem bad. But anything could pretty much be a cult. But they're talking about a demonic cult.
Evil spirits and demons, most prominently the demoness Lam.
Let's stop it right there, you guys. Just off of that right there, what Trezliar believes in, this is what, let me run it down real quick again for you guys. Miss Crenshaw is breaking down what Trezliar West believes in. Trezliar West is the adoptive person, the adoptive father, whatever. You know what adoptive people, the male adoptive. No, for real though, look. So the person responsible for losing these kids, the man that went and lied to the world, this is what he believes in. Right there. Evil spirits and demons. That lets you know what we're dealing with right there. If this is your practice, this is what you worship, this is what you believe in, because we all know what comes behind evil, spirits, demons, the devil is bad stuff. So just right there alone, his belief should be looked into. But you know what? You don't really see too many cases where police are digging into religion or, what they believe in to convict a person or to use it against evidence. And that's exactly how the government and these people get away with that type of stuff, because they set it up to where it's kind of hard to prove that in court. And then you sound, to most people, it sounds crazy to present this type of information, which is valuable information that should be given to the Bakersfield Police Department, and they should look into it and they should give it to the feds. Now, once again, Trezliar could be doing this with his own code that's not connected to the feds and the government, or it could be, which would lead back to Jamal. We don't know, but we know that this is what this man believes in.
Who preyed on infants. Now, isn't it weird? Out of all the things in the world that Trezliar could be writing about, he's focused on telling people about a father who's the god of evil spirits and preys on infants. It's disturbing, to say the least. Very, very disturbing.
Yeah, very disturbing.
This is just the beginning. Where do we get into this? Because I mentioned the Wayback Machine a couple times. And for those of you who know how to use it, I always said that, it's a great resource. Now, I'm quite frustrated right now. I'm unable to really look things up the way I would like to, because it does work better on a computer for sure. But you can actually, still use it on a phone with the right format and iPad.
That's crazy right there. I never heard of that.
With the, if you have it formatted correctly. But I believe also that I was blocked. I'll show you. I'll go to the Twitter now and I'll show you exactly what I'm referring to. But basically, there was a lot of posts that you could pull up with his Twitter handle using the Wayback Machine. And but I believe also that I was blocked. I'll show you. I'll go to the Twitter now and I'll show you exactly what I'm referring to. But basically, there was a lot of posts that you could pull up with his Twitter handle using the Wayback Machine. And that's because when I originally looked it up and other people, it looked like this. His Twitter used to look like this. So
now let me say this real quick, you guys. Do you think that Trezliar and whoever is responsible and behind this thought that it would be people like Crenshaw that would dig into this, and other people that would be educated on this type of stuff to connect the dots? I don't think they, I never heard of a Wayback Machine. And we think we all watch, true crime on TV and how to get away with a murder, but God is good. You're not supposed to murder nobody, so it's always going to be a trail, and God is going to make sure that happens. The truth is always going to come to the light, should I say.
Super private, and I believe that he had just deleted a bunch of basically tweets and made his page private. Well, if you go on there today, if you want to.
Now think, you guys, what is the coincidence that all this took place prior to the boys missing, and then after he deletes all his social media, his and Jacqueline's, if she had one, I'm not sure, but if she did, I'm pretty sure it's gone. But he for sure had one. It's not adding up. Not adding up, man. Coincidence, right? Nah. More like reality.
The Twitter and you try to see what his account looks like. It's not even going to look like this. This is what it looked like after. This is after he, I believe, deactivated it, so there was no more information. You couldn't see followers, you couldn't even see, even like anything. It didn't say, so he slowly but surely just removed himself completely from Twitter. So let's go to Twitter. And as you can see, I put his Twitter handle right there. The at hate and
You guys see that
indifference,
app, right?
basically, is what it's, I guess it's supposed to say. Nothing comes up for videos. One post that
Let me
this is
move this
really a
down.
thread that, he was going back and forth talking to this guy. We'll get into him in a minute. One thing comes up in photos. People, it says the term you entered did not bring up any results. So it's harder to even find him now. But if you put his handle in there, you will be able to see.
I didn't get to pause it when I want, but back to that video where the dudes, she's gonna show it again. So, welcome to Earth. What the hell, man?
Certain things. If you go to latest, it's just going to put them in order. Top might let some miss some of the things that are on there. So you just want to make sure that you're searching for it correctly. And
now look, let me say this real quick, because I'm not judgmental on people and what they believe in. It's a big universe out there, man. We might have came from aliens. I don't know. Anything is possible at this point. I just don't respect the demonic part, preying on infants and doing evil activities and participating in the evil part. To be open-minded about what's out there and where we come from, that's respectable, because how much proof was taken away from it, we won't know. This type of stuff right here, unacceptable.
I said,
Red flag for sure. Throw the flag on the field.
we can't see what he tweeted because it says the tweet was deleted by the tweet author. When it says that and you're looking at his handle, that's because she was communicating with him. So there's still basically, a footprint, if you will, of metadata, and that's how it still comes up. But they're very bizarre, weird, alien type things, Sumerian text, all kinds of, more of the same of what I was just showing you. And it's just
Notice Rachel. Now look at what Rachel says about ancient history. Ancient history is Egypt. You got the pyramids. You got all this stuff that was built that cannot be built today. So it must have been some type of aliens. I don't know, but a lot of stuff in life is not adding up. You just self-educate yourself. Keep your head dived in these books to get this knowledge and this wisdom to really figure out what's going on in life.
It's disturbing because this man was given two children that are now missing.
And look what he believes in.
Everything that he did tweet about, if and when he did tweet, was pretty satanic, cult-like, alien, God. Basically, he believes that he's some type of alien God. It's very bizarre. It's very concerning.
All right, my YouTube family. So I kind of made a mistake right here. I thought that it said Orin. I just seen the name like, oh my God, but it actually says Orion. So mind me on this, you guys. It was too much to fix. So boom. Y'all see that top message right there from Cosmic Vibration? Ha, yes. These dogs of war are the exiles from Orion. There is no other way this will play out. We will be victorious. That is deep right there, you guys. That's kind of proof of that's kind of proof of the proof. The proof is right here in the pudding. What this man Trezliar believes in is something to do with Orin, and he named one of the children Orin. This is deep, you guys.
It's not going to pull up everything. So we're very limited to what we can prove, but what we can prove is, believe me, incriminating enough. So what we could see from this, for example, this is a conversation he's having with this guy about thank you for coming to Earth to contribute to the fall of the cabal.
Let me tell y'all this, y'all. I really believe that this could be possible. It might be entities that exist like this that is demonic and goes back to being a reptilian, I guess, as you know, that's what you would call it. But We don't know what we facing. This could be some real life stuff. These people could be right, but we just don't know because we of God. They're of evil. You know, you got to know where your heart is and know who you is, which you should know. It's a couple people out there that's lost, but for the most part, we know what's up. You know what I mean? And that's within our heart. That's within our soul. And this these type of things right here is not it. Very concerning.
Time trying to just figure out what the hell this man was talking about, and it just made me sick to my stomach the more I looked into it, because he's a straight up weirdo, and the things that he believes in are
weirdo,
terrifying. It would make a person think that he was insane. I mean, just watch.
So how ironic is this, you guys? The fact that Orin is in this message and whatever they believe in, apparently Orin is something else. It sounds like another god, a higher being that they worship, maybe a planet. It could be anything, because weird people like that they will worship a rock. So now I'm curious, what is this Orin that cosmic vibration mentioned? That's something that we all need to look into and figure out. The dogs of war, the exiles from. So what is that? You know, what is the war? Who is the dogs of war? These exiles, and from Orin. So that sounds like a planet or something, a universe, a galaxy.
Is into, right? Here's one. I refuse to play
Man,
much of it.
Getting deep, y'all. We you know, we going from this, from looking from some missing kids and kidnappers to what's really a spiritual battle. Always remember that all this starts from the beginning. Good versus evil, God versus the devil from the jump. It ain't never went nowhere. All it's doing is getting more advanced, more technical, more harder to understand. Know what I mean? Knowledge. The tree of knowledge. God say don't do that. You're not supposed to worship knowledge.
This man was talking about, and it just made me sick to my stomach the more I looked into it, because he's a straight up weirdo, and the things that he believes in are terrifying. It would make a person think that he was insane. I mean, just watch some of these videos that he is into, right? Here's one.
But going back to why we are here exactly now.
Wait, hold on. Let's go back to that video, because you got to pay attention to all the symbols that these people put out there. I will look at this picture is back to what I said earlier. You got these puppets, right, that show their face. Look at this picture, you guys. I learned this in college, how to look at the subliminals, the stuff in the background that most people would not notice unless you educated. Look at this picture. You got these people looking crazy. You know, demonic people be doing dances and all types of weird stuff, right? Those are the puppets. This is how I'm looking at it. My opinion. Those are the puppets. The people who you can see their face. That man in the back, the puppet master that you will never see. Demonic, evil. And half these puppets know, the other half don't know what's going on.
But going back to why we are here exactly now. We are here to help and aid the liberation of Earth from hostile alien takeover, mostly reptilian in origin.
Okay, so look, it's a lot of that, right? The weird.
What the hell is that? But look, remember I said the government, they have control of everything. Hollywood, they run Hollywood. You know, Hollywood is hella demonic. The music industry is hella demonic. If you guys don't know, you got to do the research or catch up on my past videos or future videos that I'm going to do. But facts, you know what I mean? So it's there. But that little scene reminded me of like Men in Black. Y'all seen Men in Black? They had that little clip in there that sounded like this lady, and they was reptilians that came down to Earth. Look at all the movies that promote this same belief. It's right there in your face, but they're not going to tell you, because that's how the devil works. You know, he gotta work slowly to manipulate and deceive folks.
the weirdest stuff that you could ever imagine. And if you guys have time, I suggest you go and you look at this and you never know what you're going to find. I'm going to tell you what else I was able to find. Upon going and watching any links to these weird videos, I was able to find, I've known his old handles because they're associated with his old email addresses or even current email addresses and phone numbers, and you guys know I'm like a spy. So upon looking all of this stuff up, I was able to discover that Trey J. West is a handle he would use. And one of the, with these things, one of the comments that he left underneath the very, very weird videos state this: Wake up, Terror Papers, Terror Papers. We are beyond all the programming. God, question mark, Lucifer, question mark. So, I'm not going to read all of it because it's just, but you get the point.
Man, you guys, so much information and so much to put together in so little time. Well, hopefully you guys understand. It's a lot more that I have to do and, a lot more to cover on Crenshaw's video. So a disclaimer once again, you guys, this is my opinion based off of somebody else's for these theories and philosophies and conspiracies, whatever you want to call it, you guys. But I'm just trying to spread awareness of what's going on for you guys to go out there and do your own research. And then one other thing, I got one of the names mixed up. I thought it had said Orin, but it was Orion. But just like Crenshaw said, I'm not no professional to what's going on, and I have not did that much research on this subject. But as you can see, the picture in the back, that's Orion. You guys can see it in the sky, Orion's belt. It's been in movies, Men in Black, all types of stuff. But we just got to connect the dots. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do. But it still is a major coincidence that it's almost spelled out the same. Just look at how Orion is spelled out, and that's what, Trezliar believes in. Then look how Orin and Orson is spelled. It's very similar, you guys. Very, very similar. Help you guys understand what Crenshaw is also saying. So I will be doing more videos to her videos, and I'm still not done with her first video. It's just so much to break down. It takes up time, you guys. And hopefully you guys kind of understand, and it's just very deep, you guys. But, when I say this is reality, I'm not for sure if this really exists. But I do know that these people believe in these things. I do know that, there's people out there, high officials and other people in the world that believe in these type of practices. You guys get what I'm saying? So that's the whole main important part that we're trying to get across the table, is that this man believes in these type of activities, which is not godlike. So it doesn't have to be real. We don't know what's real on earth, but we just know what he practiced. So that's, pretty much the whole point, you guys. I'm going to do part 2. It's probably going to be a whole lot of parts to this segment because it's so deep and you got to explain it in the best way you can without making it more confusing than it already is. Stay tuned for part 2, part 3. I don't know how long it's going to go. But, I'm a backup Crenshaw. So when she drops the video, I'm going to go ahead and react behind it with the information that I know about what she's talking about. Which is sad to say that, we're talking about this in regards to the boys. Whoever thought that it would get this deep. But the information that we have been gathering within the last couple months is all leading to this dark hole. From the date that the boys came up missing, December 21st, the winter solstice, the great conjunction. These type of occults, that's what they use. They use their time frames based off of what happens in the sky.